Hi, KentCov Kids, Pastor Torina here, and it is so good to see that all of you are out there. This month, we are preparing our hearts for Easter. You know, it'll be here in just a few weeks. I can't believe it. So last week, you heard the story of the Triumphal Entry, which is another way of saying Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday marks the first day of what we call Holy Week, because it was just a few days later that Jesus was arrested and crucified. His blood washed away all sin from all of God's people. But then, just 3 days later, something else happened. A miracle. Jesus rose from the dead, defeating death too. So, it's important for us to keep all of that in mind as we dig into the story of the Triumphal Entry, Palm Sunday. Now, Palm Sunday was the day Jesus entered Jerusalem and announced to everyone that he was the Messiah, the one God's people had been waiting for to save them, and they had been waiting for over 400 years. Now, before this day, Jesus had been teaching and preaching, caring for people and performing miracles, all in the countryside. He had purposely also not said that he was the Messiah. He wanted to show as many people as he could who he was before he told them. But on this particular Sunday, it was finally time. Jesus told his disciples to go get a donkey so that he could ride it into Jerusalem like King Solomon did in the Old Testament, and as Zechariah prophesied the future king would do. Jesus knew that his followers and the religious leaders would know right away that he was boldly saying he was the Messiah, the very one that Scripture told them would come. And they did. Many shouted out praises and cheers, laying their coats and palm branches on the path in front of Jesus, showing they knew he was the Messiah. But Jesus was not what they expected for their long-awaited Messiah. And it would be just a few days later that Jerusalem's leaders would arrest Jesus and crucify him. And the ones that cheered for him on that triumphant day, they would turn on him too and watch while he died. So, when Jesus rode that donkey into Jerusalem for his triumphal entry, he knew all of that was going to happen. He knew that the ones cheering did not really understand that he was the Son of God, their one and only King, the one they needed. And he chose to go into Jerusalem anyway. Jesus chose to die for us, even though we don't really understand either. He loves us anyway. He doesn't wait for us to understand and love him first. No, he loves us first, wanting nothing more than for us to accept his gift of love and love him in return with our whole selves for our whole lives. And that, my friends, is really good news. Later, friends.